Hello, and welcome to Movies in Short. Today, I will describe the period epic film called Mongol, The Rise of Genghis Khan. The plot of the film takes place in the year 1172. The modern provinces of northern China were formerly known as the Tangut Kingdom and were ruled by the Tangut dynasty. There were numerous Mongolian tribes, each led by their own khans. The rivalry between the tribes and their desire for control led to numerous conflicts, fights, and deaths. Mongol society is devoid of norms and in desperate need of a great Khan to unite and govern the people. Yesujay is the Khan of a western minor tribe. Beginning the film, he is traveling with his troops and 9-year-old son Temujin in search of a wife for Temujin. They stop for the night at a friend's tribe to rest. Temujin is caring for his horse when a girl named Bort approaches him and inquires about his identity. Temujin introduces himself and explains the trip's objective. Bort asserts boldly that they should wed upon learning that he is searching for a spouse. For political reasons, Temujin's father desires to bring home a bride from a powerful tribe. However, at his son's repeated requests, Yesujay permits him to choose a member of the tribe of his friend. Before selecting a woman, Temujin is instructed to search for one with powerful legs, as only a woman with strong legs can keep her man content. Temujin follows instructions and selects Bort. Their marriage is legally recognized, but they cannot live together for 5 years. Before departing, Temujin vows to return soon and presents Bort with a necklace to remind him of him. On the journey back to their hamlet, Yesujay and the men stop near an inn for a rest. A few yards away sits the chief of a competing tribe with his troops, so they are careful. Suddenly, the adversary Khan sends his warriors with a bowl of milk as a peace offering. As a reciprocal gesture, Yesujay sends back a bowl of juice. Since they cannot trust their adversaries, Yesujay's right-hand man proposes he allow the servant to consume the milk first. However, Yesujay does not want to lose the chance to make peace out of mistrust. Both he and the other Khan drink the entire dish of water. Later, they resume their journey, but Yesujay's chest begins to pain after a few minutes. He falls from his horse and perishes. Clearly, his adversaries took advantage of his generosity and poisoned him. Poor Temujin visits his father, but his supporters are unconcerned. Tradition dictates that the people will only follow a powerful leader. Now that their leader has died, their top priority is to select a new Khan, not to exact revenge on the previous one. Temujin and his mother attend Yesujay's burial in the next scene. Yesujay owned a large number of animals and homes, which are inherited by Targutai, his right-hand man. Temujin's mother curses him and claims that he will one day be murdered by her son. Targutai realizes this to be true and determines to kill Temujin. However, they measure his height, which falls short of the upper portion of a cart's wheel. According to their traditions, Mongols do not kill children, therefore Temujin is spared. However, Targutai pledges to return next winter, when Temujin will have grown taller. When winter arrives, Temujin has nowhere to hide. He recalls his father teaching him about God Tengri, who will assist him in times of trouble. Consequently, he visits the sacred mountain as a pilgrimage. On the way, though, he falls into a frozen lake and nearly drowns. He is rescued by Jamaka, a youngster his age. He and his younger brother invite Temujin to their residence and feed him. Temujin feels appreciative that his brothers saved his life. He proposes to become Jamaka's blood brother. To demonstrate their loyalty to one another, they mix their blood with a bowl of milk and drink it. The next morning, they are approached by Targutai and his men, who are still searching for Temujin in order to kill him. They abduct him and return him to his tribe. Fortunately for Temujin, his stature has not increased significantly since the last time, so he must be held imprisoned until he grows. A compassionate elderly guy feeds him daily and treats his injuries. A few days later, they remeasure his height, but it has not increased. Suddenly, it begins to rain, and everyone rushes indoors. The old guy seizes this chance to liberate Temujin. The child runs as far as he can with the wooden airplane still attached to his neck. He travels to the mountains and beseeches the god Tengri for assistance. Temujin spots a white wolf near the god's monument, and seconds later, the wooden structure mysteriously collapses. The setting shifts to 1186. Temujin has reached adulthood but continues to evade Targutai and his people. After years of searching, they are able to capture and imprison him in a similar wooden airplane. Now that he is tall enough to match the height reference, his chances of survival are slim. Temujin, being the proud individual that he is, refuses to plead for his life, despite Targutai's wishes. Therefore, Targutai decides to torture him slowly rather than murder him instantly. The elderly man who aided Temujin years ago continues to provide for him. He begs Temujin to spare his life when he returns to exact revenge for his mistreatment. Targutai comes alone to Temujin after dark and mocks him. Since everyone is busy, Temujin seizes the chance to attack and kill his opponent by repeatedly striking him with the wooden plane. After that, he escapes the village and is once again safe. Temujin is prepared to reclaim his clan and become the Khan. But he must first bring his bride home. He has not visited his in-laws' tribe since he was 9 years old. Bort has matured into a powerful and attractive woman. She discloses that she has been waiting for him since their last encounter. Temujin is given a coat as a dowry, and he brings Bort with him. After a number of years, they visit his mother and sister. They are received with open arms by the family. For the next month, they live out their wildest fantasies. As spouses, Temujin and Bort fall deeper in love. However, problems develop when they are attacked by the Merkit tribe. Temujin's father abducted his mother from the Khan of the Merkit tribe eons ago. He is here to seize Bort from Temujin in fulfillment of his vow of vengeance. The pair attempts to flee, but Temujin is shot with an arrow and Bort is taken as the rival Khan's wife. When Temujin recovers, he realizes he must retrieve his wife, but he cannot do so alone. Therefore, he visits his old blood brother Jamaka. Jamaka had matured into the Khan of a formidable tribe. He agrees to assist, but only after a year because he is now engaged in a project. In the flash of an eye, a year passes, and the two set out with their forces to attack the Merkit tribe. Before discovering a pregnant Bort in one of the huts, they kill all of their men and loot the settlement. She has murdered the man whose body lies next her. Temujin instantly asserts that the child is his and regains custody of Bort. At night, the soldiers celebrate their victory. Temujin has gained a sizable following at this point. Temujin, unlike most Khans, takes only 10% of the stolen livestock for himself and distributes the remainder to his men. He presents even more gifts to the families of the fallen soldiers. 2 members of the Jamaka tribe observe this and decide to join the Temujin tribe. Since the Mongols are permitted to select their own Khans, Jamaka has no recourse. Nonetheless, it is clear that he perceives this as a betrayal. In the incident that follows, Temujin's men observe a man attempting to steal their horses. They hunt him down and accidentally kill him. Jamaka's younger brother was revealed to be the thief. After the tragedy, Jamaka forgets that Temujin is his blood brother and makes it his mission to murder him. He allies himself with another tribe and attacks Temujin's tribe. Temujin is aware that his people cannot win the conflict due to their overwhelming numerical disadvantage. Nevertheless, he sends the women and children away and orders the men to battle with all their strength. Even after defeating multiple foes, Temujin is ultimately defeated. Jamaka continues to refer to him as brother and begs him to beg for mercy. He does not wish to kill someone who still possesses power and pride. Therefore, he turns him into a slave and sells him to the brokers. Temujin and the rest of his troops are forced to traverse several miles of desert to reach the metropolis held by the Tangut dynasty. After that, they are displayed for people to examine and purchase at their discretion. One day, a senior official from the dynasty visits the market and expresses interest in purchasing Temujin. His advisor Monk, though, observes Temujin and recognizes that he is not a perfect slave. He believes that Temujin will bring down the entire mighty dynasty. The purchaser merely laughs at the assertion and purchases Temujin nonetheless. He is then placed in a cage as a freak for people to view and ridicule. Every day, the monk visits him and begs for forgiveness. If he searches for Bort, Temujin will not demolish the monastery at the appointed moment. While searching deserts for Bort, the monk loses consciousness and dies. Fortunately, he is discovered by Bort, who recognizes his necklace as the one she wore for several years. She realizes her husband is still alive and travels to the city in search of him. Since Temujin is on open show to the public, it does not take her long to locate him. The same evening, she bribes a guard and aids Temujin's escape. He is startled to discover that his son has significantly grown and that Bort has a second daughter. In order to make ends meet and feed her children, she was forced to date another man. Temujin informs the small girl that he is her father, loving her even more for her sacrifices. The family of 4 returns to their rural house and spends a month there in happiness. The children adore their father and play with him frequently. Bort remarks one day that all Mongols are identical in that they all steal, rob, and kill. The comment is minor, but it has a profound effect on Temujin. He resolves to leave his family in order to combine as many Mongol tribes as possible and establish order in the Mongol world, even if it means killing half of the tribes. The 3 fundamental precepts they must adhere to are: never kill women and children, fight to the bitter end, and never betray their Khan. The time jumps to 1196. As he promised, Temujin has been able to amass an army of Mongols on his side, uniting various tribes and forming his own large tribe. The only thing preventing him from becoming absolute emperor is Jamaka, who is supported by an army of supporters. Today, the 2 brothers stand with their forces on the battlefield for a decisive battle. The battle commences, and Jamaka immediately dispatches the first group into battle. Temujin has meticulously planned the entire conflict, whereas Jamaka is impulsive, resulting in the death of many of his troops. After hours of arduous combat, Temujin prevails and captures the remaining enemy forces, including Jamaka. Instead of being slaughtered, the troops are absorbed as Temujin's disciples. The act inspires their gratitude and loyalty to their new Khan. The old guy who once helped him escape is now the tribe's counselor. The sole remaining task is to render a verdict for Jamaka. The brothers discuss how far they have come in life as they sat together. Jamaka admits with pride that he would have slain his rival if he were in Temujin's position at this moment. This further demonstrates that he and Temujin are not identical, as Temujin permits him to flee. Temujin pardons him and allows him to leave out of respect for his brother and the effort he has exerted in building an army. Then, we observe that Bort and her 2 children have reconciled with Temujin and are living happily with him. In 1206, Temujin was made Khan of all Mongols and given the name Genghis Khan, according to the final account. As promised, he took out the entire Tangut dynasty and rebuilt the kingdom, but at the request of the deceased monk, he kept the monastery intact. In the future, he became the founder of the entire Mongol Empire, the world's largest contiguous empire. Subscribe for similar content, enable notifications, and like the video to help the channel. Thank you for watching.